W.I. Black here. I have another short story for you today. This is entitled, Those Who Suffer. I hope you enjoy. Amongst all the early mornings that had come, this one was exactly like the others. All across the world at various times people would be waking to the sounds of an alarm, some to mechanical and some to organic, while others forged through the night to see another resetting of the world. The sludge of the previous day still hangs closely to their faces, the weight of relived moments slowly stretching the visage of so many. Rubbing their eyes, they groan in anticipation of the coming banality as they tear themselves from what was hopefully a night of rejuvenating sleep, which, for most, will not be the case, for the coming bog of reflection, churning and writhing, reveals a past, present, and future which adds to the weight already dragging them to an early grave. They set about their morning routine, primping and preparing. Thoughts creep into their mind. It won't be like this forever, they think, consoling themselves to prevent self-pity from overwhelming their bulwark of frigid cynicism, which allows them to approach each day with a heightened sense of apprehension that they confuse as a means of self-defense, but truly only weakens them further as they continuously slip into a state of mindless humdrum, bolstered by the rigmarole of a system meant to provide hope when the actual realization, if they could perceive it, is far from it. By now, keys are in the ignition, feet are on the pavement, and bicyclists are pedaling. They have reached the first stage of daily existence, the removal from their protective cocoon, not unlike a chrysalis or pupa. Wings are spread as they seek to take on a day which, if it could be had, would yield an outcome that would bring surprise to the participants, but like many days before it, there occurs nothing out of the ordinary, for ordinary is the life of a creature of habit. Obscuring the sun, dark clouds hang low, releasing a payload of fat droplets. This efficacious ablution fulfills the daily ritual of the hopeless. The path they travel, though brimming with other sufferers, is solitary and daunting. This is not a game where numbers afford a better chance of winning. Those that congregate together do so not for protection, but for a chance to express their sincerity that their situation is by far worse than any other's. Pity me, their actions scream. Oh, how the evil hammer of existence smashes me daily into a million pieces. Once would be enough, but it doesn't matter, for it would bludgeon dust if it weren't for some quantum mechanical chance that restructured me whole again. Each listen, waiting impatiently for a chance to insert their own experience, which differs so little that the others listening feel that they are staring into a mirror talking with themselves, as if talking with one's self could win an argument. This always results in the breaking of a mirror in a few stitches. As the huddle moves closer to its destination, the path grows bleak and perilous. The rain grows heavier, the path more slippery. They look each way for an escape. By now the light grows dimmer and dimmer. The darkness becomes a presence of its own, sentient and viscous. They draw closer and closer to the abyss. Tears cascade as laments are thrown into the darkness. Prayers screamed are heard as whispers amongst the turmoil. As dread has all but consumed them, a sudden revelation presents itself. Their path is no longer straight. It begins to curve. The rain begins to subside. Clouds begin to move, repealing their cover from the sun. Removing the drab hue, bright rays restore life to a pallid world. Voices have returned to an acceptable volume. Now prayers of thanksgiving are heard ascending towards the heaven. Peals of laughter can even be heard as the light continues to brighten the path. On the horizon, their new destination can be seen. They knew it had always been there, but for some reason its existence had escaped their minds. They marveled at the heaven-sent inspiration which directed them to their salvation. Tears of happiness were flowing as they finally arrived. The gates stood open as those angels inside beckoned them to come. Those huddled together became jaunty, breaking out into a tune of harmonious beauty. Each in turn approached the massive altar to partake of the communion of the sufferers. Each time the cup was raised, a heavenly aroma could be smelled, a blistering heat could be felt, and the eyes beheld the life-quickener. Each savored the sip offered to them. The angels were careful to prevent even the slightest drop from being wasted, for it was sacrilege they could not afford. Those finishing would return to the group and sing praise. It was a veritable paradise. Soon a thought began to sweep through the collective. I must return, for it is not my time, they thought. So without exception, as all of the days that had come before, the groups began to disperse, to reconvene with their initial course, telling themselves, things will be different now. This idea, at first novel, grows ever more familiar with them as their journey continues. This darkens their mood, but not enough to make a visible change in their countenance, but enough to create a gnawing irritation that the moment of hope they have experienced was somehow not epiphanic. They question themselves, it will be different, won't it? Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you again. Until next time.